Hey guys, thanks for joining me in today's session. I want to talk with you about whether you should actually take the risk and apply. Should you take the risk and apply for that green card or naturalization or asylum, whatever that benefit is that you're seeking or you think you might be eligible for it? Should you actually put yourself out there and let immigration know about you and where you're at? I thought about this question because today I spoke with a client and I could sense from that conversation that he wants to move forward. He knows that he is eligible for asylum. He wants to move forward, but at the same time, there is deep fear and concern regarding what will happen next after he applies for asylum. So I guided him through some questions and things to think about and to speak with his wife about so that they could come to the right decision about moving forward. And so I want to share some thoughts with you along those lines. And if you're joining this session, chime in below, let me know who you are and where you're watching from. And be sure to share this with other people. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, by the way, for those of you who are new to me. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my practice. I'm an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients all over the US and the world on complex immigration matters. Reach out to us at McBean Law at 516-866-3900 or at mcbeanlaw.com, where you could request to meet with one of our attorneys. Also, guys, do me the favor of subscribing to my YouTube channel before you go today and hit the notification bell as well. And lastly, you want to sign up for our terrific firm newsletter. We have a wonderful newsletter that we send out each week on various immigration topics, and subscribe to the newsletter at mcbeanlaw.com so that you'll stay in the loop on everything. Now, let's talk about this question about whether you should apply, whether you should take the risk and apply, right? When there's a chance of denial, that's when this really becomes a concern, right? When there's a chance of denial, should you move forward anyway with your filing? And to guide you through that decision, this decision making process, let's go through some questions here, things I want you to think about. Firstly, are you eligible for the benefit? Are you eligible for it? Because for example, with asylum, if you're eligible for asylum, that's a great thing. A licensed immigration lawyer can take the case and work on your asylum case if they've determined that you're eligible for it. But if you're not eligible for asylum, yet you want to apply for asylum because you want a work permit and a social security card, and so you basically submit this asylum application just to get those benefits, well, the outcome for you in that scenario will be far different from the one who is actually eligible. But let's keep going with the questions. So firstly, think about the fact that whether or not you're eligible. If you're eligible, terrific. The second question really is, do I have evidence to prove it? Right? You could be eligible for asylum, but maybe the evidence is weak, right? Maybe the evidence is very weak. Well, if the evidence is weak, well, the consequences for filing will be, a negative outcome. The USCIS asylum office will most likely refer your case over into removal, and then the judge will consider your case then. And if your evidence remains weak in immigration court and you have no other options on the table, well, the judge will issue a removal order against you. So, do you have evidence to prove your case? The third question that I'd like for you to consider is, if you're denied, what are the consequences? What are the consequences for the denial, right? And so the first consequence is like nothing really, right? Nothing is likely to happen if my green card application is denied. And it was a good application, but maybe there was a little defect here or there with it. And it was denied, or maybe it was denied because I wasn't really eligible for it. But in many cases, if that green card application doesn't come along with other issues like fraud, misrepresentation, and some other very serious issues, the field office that's looking at that case will most likely not do anything, additional with it, like send you a notice to appear in immigration court. But some field offices will. Okay, it's up to the field office to determine whether they want to issue that notice to appear or not. Some do not. Many do not, because they're busy. They have a lot of other things going on. So they don't always follow up with that, but some do. All right. So that could be, nothing really could be the scenario for many, many, many people. All right. What about the consequence of being placed in removal? As I've said, for some people, this is a very real consequence, okay? It depends on the type of application that is filed. Like I said earlier, if it's an asylum application and USCIS doesn't approve it, they'll refer it over into immigration court, and you will be placed in removal automatically because that's the process with asylum. Okay, so if you're at a higher risk of being placed in removal, you should obviously really think about whether you should file an application whereby you don't even have enough evidence to prove that you're eligible for it. So that's something to think about. And then the third consequence that could possibly happen for some people, not a lot of people, guys, fall into this category. Well, ICE may arrest me. My ICE will then know where I live, where I work, and they may detain me. And for you've got to talk with, speak with a licensed immigration lawyer about this concern, if it is a concern, because like I said, for most people going through the immigration benefits application process, this is not the case, but it is the case for some people, particularly those who have a very serious background involving a criminal issue, or some other issues going on. But only your immigration lawyer can tell you that, what, if you apply for this, you're at a greater risk of being arrested by ICE. But again, for most people going through an application process, that is not the case. Now, the next thing I want you to think about, guys, is that although you may know or think that, well, you have a chance of your case being denied, and that's a valid thing for some people, especially if they're applying for benefits like maybe the U visa, the asylum, or even VAWA. In many cases, the application will be denied if you don't have enough evidence to prove that you're eligible for the benefit. But think about the fact that even if you're at a higher chance of being approved, no outcome is guaranteed, right? It will ultimately come down to USCIS and their decision. If you prepare a very solid case, either on your own or through your lawyer, if you have complex facts, and a lawyer is working on your case, you should know that you have a stronger chance of being approved, with professional help, and it's a good, well prepared case. Okay, but no lawyer can guarantee that you're going to win, you're going to get that outcome that you're seeking. All right. The other thing I want you to think about is that, when you're thinking about going through the immigration process, you've got to reach the place of decision where you're ready to go on the radar. You're ready to go on the radar because it requires disclosure. It requires the government knowing your name, your address, your employment, where you work, your place of employment. It requires them knowing the name of your spouse, your children, and some other information that those applications seek. So you've got to get to that place of peace, knowing that, you're eligible, you have evidence to prove it. Maybe the consequence for you, if your case is denial, is really like no real consequence. You're not at threat of being detained or anything like that. If you have those things going on, guys, if you answer yes to those three questions in particular, then you've got to get to that place of, I'm okay with going on the radar. All right. You've got to be willing to go on the radar if you're in that position. And then last, if maybe you answered no to one or two of these questions, well, you've got to get good counsel. You've got to get a good professional advice about your situation and whether or not you should go on the radar. There are times, many times, we tell our clients that, here's the problem that you have. Here's how immigration is likely to see this problem. These are the likely consequences for filing, and here's why we think you should do it anyway, or here's why we think you should not do it. Okay? It has to really be that kind of thoughtful process if you've answered no to one of my earlier questions. Work with a professional to assess your situation and come to a conclusion. And once you get to that point of decision, guys, get to that point, reach that point, make the decision, and follow your gut, follow the advice of a good immigration lawyer. And then, there you go. There you have it. So, for those of you out there who are thinking about whether you should apply or not, you don't want to go on the radar, what are the consequences? I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it has, comment below. Let me know that it has, and let me know your thoughts on it. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for being with me. Bye bye.